Okay, here we go. We're gonna get started with this first video.
I have a friend, a dear friend who works with me. He is a master at reading astrology the way Nostradamus did it. It's not regular astrology, it's Nostradamus astrology. And if you know how to read the stars like Nostradamus did it, you can tell the future. And when my friend tells me something, I listen because I know he knows what he's talking about. He told me like 6 months ago, get ready because the world is going to experience a terrible catastrophe that will start in February or March of this year. It's going to be some kind of a disease. It's going to hit. You're going to be seeing cities being shut down, markets, stores being shut down. And so I started buying extra water and food. And he was right. He told me, you think it's bad now? Wait till October. He said a lot of people are worried about this virus, but a lot of people think that this will pass and everything will be all right later on. But that's not what the stars say. The stars are saying that for about a year and four.
All right, that's where we're gonna stop it. 16 months from October is February of 2022. Now, I've been listening to Jordan Maxwell for a long time, and he has quite a bit of followers that listen to what he says. Jordan Maxwell is an extremely intelligent individual. He, I'll actually just talk about him a little bit. He's actually a man who's his real name is Russell Pine. Uh, I actually was able to go to Pensacola, Florida, where I think he originally is from, and I think he actually got the name Jordan Maxwell from a couple of streets in Pensacola, Florida. He's an American writer, researcher who deals with the theology, secret societies, etymology, and occultism, which really only means hidden arts. Maxwell is seen as a big name in the world of conspiracy and served as an example for various authors and researchers in the area, including Michael Sarian and David Icke. He was an editor for Truth Seeker magazine for 3 years, made documentaries for CBS TV network, and presented his own radio show under the banner of ABC. One of Maxwell's hobby horses, in addition to symbolism and interpretation, is the so called astrotheology. So, like many, he says here, like, thus many other faiths in the world, the story of Jesus' birth, crucifixion, resurrection, 12 apostles, is based on the faith of the sun god Horus. Remarkably, all of these beliefs, although sometimes minimal, show similarities to the cult of Horus. And it says that's in his biography on jordanmaxwellvideos.com. He has quite a bit of videos that he has worked on. He's absolutely an interesting character, and he knows quite a bit about symbology. I think he actually had something to do with the Angels and Demons movies, uh, as well as many others, more than likely. So I I want to point this out because the people that are watching this video, this guy on Attention and the Word only has one video on this entire channel. I thought that was quite interesting for that many subscribers to be on one because it's almost like he's being speculative to drop another video sometime soon because there's quite a few people in comments saying, oh, okay, what's going to happen next? You're going to leave us here since I don't do fear porn. I reject this message spell. And I get it completely, but I think it's a word problem saying 16 months from October 2020. I don't really understand why they would put out a video that says that, but I'll continue because basically the whole thing says, be careful with October, but he's saying in the video 16 months from October 2020. It has nothing to do with October 2020. And so I'll go a little bit further and then we'll go into the second video.
Months from October of this year, the whole of the earth is going to be in the most critical condition. All countries are going to be involved. You will begin to see the complete shutdown of civilization. It's going to be a tragic event which is going to cause political and social unrest on a scale that we've never had to deal with before. And he told me, you need to understand it doesn't have anything to do with politics. This has nothing to do with China and Russia and the end of the world and all that stuff. No, it has to do with the stars. It's an astrological phenomenon. People think the stars and the astrology is a bunch of bull. Well, wait till October.
Wait till October. I don't think the stars are a bunch of bull, but one group of stars I know are not a bunch of bull are these. The alignments of the moon around the earth, okay, create a division of triangles in what they used to call sacred space from the 16th century. They also create a pattern of sacred space around the earth. And, you know, we have learned quite a bit about different things. I'll just go ahead and read it again. It says, do you realize that you are a cell on a large body of the same as large body, the same as the way we see ourselves. Knowledge is only power if we know the symbology behind the curtain. Ask yourself, why would we want to control the earth when we do not own it? We will learn in time. So, this is basically a pattern of alignments of the moon around the earth. It's basically kind of just opening up the idea that there's a lot more going on than we know. And behind the scenes, there's probably some rituals going on that we don't know about as well, with our celebrity friends being a part of it. Just kind of throwing that out there. And then we move into Bill Gates. Bill Gates actually, you know, with his wife makes a video talking about, the second wave will get their attention. Then smiled like the psychopaths they are. It says, we need to start asking better questions because these two smiling entities clearly knew about a second wave. It's time to start investigating. So the question is, why are there so many protests against Bill Gates? Why is India have, you know, basically him barred from the entire country? You need to start researching these things because this is probably where this is going. They are trying to basically pull an agenda bigger than many people know. It's not a conspiracy. I mean, you could do the research and find out for yourself. This is all on the Entity Phylum Instagram page, by the way. Here is basically, to me, similar to this one with the moon alignment, but it really has a feeling to me like CERN. When they talk about explosions and things, I mean, could it possibly be that they push CERN to a limit to try to open up multi dimensions? I don't know, but that's pretty much what hadron colliders have something to do with if they're messing with antimatter. So it says new crop circle in Smears Plantation in St. George, Wiltshire, 25th of June. And it has a YouTube link to it. So, all I'm saying is this: there's quite a few things on the internet. We couldn't hear the last video. It's the only reason I'm redoing this one, because I know it is aggravating whenever audio doesn't work right. So we're trying to get it right. We're actually trying to hook it up to a couple of other external sources to make it even better. So bear with us. And we'll go into the second video that I watched somebody make, kind of answering I guess the first part of their question, probably because they saw the first video. So here we go.
Worldwide.
I'm not trying to be smart. I'm trying to ask Ron a question. What do you base it on?
I'm basing it on astrology.
So
The
something.
whole earth is going to go into Ophiuchus Scorpio. Scorpions are deadly. Scorpio, represented by a scorpion, is deadly. deadly scorpions. And the exalted god over Scorpio is Mars. Mars was the god of war because you take the M in Mars, turn it upside down, it becomes WAR, not MAR. So Mars was the god of war, and God, he is the exalted ruler of Ophiuchus Scorpio. Of signs of the zodiac, but there's one more that nobody knows about called Ophiuchus. There's 12 signs of the zodiac, add one more, it's called Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is very, very, very severe. Well, if it's very severe, and the god who's leading it is Mars, the god of war, then that means there's going to be some terrible, very, very, very terrible event is going to hit the world in October.
This is why I brought this up. It says that the hitting astrology sign is called Ophiuchus. It means serpent bearer in Greek and is pronounced Ophiuchus. The mythological character was inspired by the constellation Serpens, which resembles a snake, which is also very similar to our medical symbol that has the symbol around the Kundalini. So, we see here all of these symbols of deception. Um, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, this guy goes into the video where he starts talking about, I'm trying to zoom in to actually get to it, but he starts talking about Vincent Fushca. And, we've talked about John F. Kennedy Jr. quite a bit whenever we were deciphering, this piece right here on a podcast with the Good Lion podcast. So we were talking about this quite a bit, and I'll play it. You know, let me go into it. Okay, and we'll end it right there. I I don't really know much about the Q movement other than what I've seen in research, and I see quite a few people jumping on the bandwagon. But I know whenever we deciphered this magazine cover, it was quite a few things. We talked about the firmament in this hole, a hole in the firmament. We talked about the sand and Mount Rushmore. Everyone thought that John F. Kennedy Jr. was going to be Superman and jump out of Mount Rushmore for some reason. And there's a lot more going on here. There's a shadow behind her, and there is sand on the ground behind her. Um, I also thought it was very interesting that the model in the picture is her real name is Karen, and all we keep talking about are Karens today. So I thought that was a bit of interest for some people, but I I'm at the point where I'm starting to believe that October, yeah, we may see some crazy things, but I'm not too concerned about it. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen inevitably, but I'm starting to believe that in October we're probably going to want to be careful of these serpent bearers, and there's quite a few of them out there, not just one or two. And I'm starting to believe that if John F. Kennedy Jr. does pop out of a cake, that we may want to be careful with him too. So, I'm going to go ahead and add again that Kamala Harris's middle name. Go ahead and Google it because it is pretty interesting as well. It's DEVI, which is the root word for guess what. So there's quite a few things out here, but I think the big word for October 2020 is beware of deception. I think that's probably the best thing to think about. Have a good day.